Welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be trying to piece together something. It's fascinating, but it's also kind of unsettling.
Yeah.
We're talking fragmented data streams, recovered files, cryptic headlines, the whole 9 yards. It seems to all be connected to one major event.
Right.
And get this, the timeline points to originating from our future.
Really?
Yeah.
What date are we talking?
January 1st, 2025.
Okay, so not that far off.
Not that far off at all.
Wow. That's intriguing.
Yeah.
It's almost like someone was trying to, send a message back through time.
Yeah.
Almost like a warning. And to even begin to sort of unravel this, I think we need to start with Datastream 001.
Okay.
This recovered transmission. It's dripping with this sense of urgency and fear.
Right. You start reading it. The sender, they're talking about these shimmering threads and a collapsing inward spiral. Looping patterns. There's this machine that they say is at the heart of it all. They mention a Dr.
Right.
It's a name, but they don't explain who this is.
Yeah, it's very mysterious.
There's this desperate plea for help in the transmission, almost like they're trying to reach someone before it's too late.
And when you look at the technical aspects of this transmission, it just makes it, more mysterious.
Okay.
You've got these corrupted segments, an unstable timestamp, and parts of it are only partially decrypted.
So does that mean that someone was trying to stop them from sending this message?
It's possible. It's almost as if just transmitting this information was dangerous in some way. Even those looping patterns and repetitions.
Yeah.
Almost like an echo bouncing off some kind of barrier.
Okay, that's creepy. And then you've got Datastream 00 Duquire, which is even more confusing.
Yeah, these encrypted transmissions, they're a wall of symbols and these strange characters. We haven't been able to decipher them fully.
And then there's Datastream 003, which might give us some context.
Right.
Because it's this collection of headlines that we've recovered, and they're all dated after that January 1st, 2025 timestamp.
Oh, wow.
So after that initial transmission,
Okay.
what are the headlines saying?
Well, there are headlines about the moon disappearing.
The moon disappearing.
Yeah. A black pinprick appearing in the sky. They say telescopes can't see through it. Silent protesters.
What does that mean?
And then there's this non-existent noise that everyone can hear.
Okay, a non-existent noise that everyone can hear.
Yeah, it's unsettling.
Yeah.
But if you connect all these headlines, these seemingly random events, it's like this disturbing picture emerges.
Yeah.
Of a world, descending into chaos.
Okay.
Like reality's unraveling.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Are these events all connected to whatever was described in that first transmission?
I mean, it's a strong possibility.
Okay.
And then Datastream 004 seems to support that idea even more.
Yeah.
This one's email transcripts from various sources.
Yeah.
We're talking governments, corporations, even religious organizations.
Oh, wow. So we're seeing how different groups reacted to these events.
Yeah. And what's fascinating is that you see like a mix of cover-ups, conflicting perspectives, these attempts to grab power.
Wow.
All fueled by this panic. It's a complex web of reactions. It's almost like watching the world struggle to make sense of what's happening while desperately trying to maintain control.
So let's unpack this a little bit.
Sure.
How did these different groups respond?
Well, you see governments, trying to downplay the severity of what's happening.
Okay.
Really focusing on control and maintaining order.
Right.
Corporations, they're trying to exploit this chaos for profit, but they're also trying to project this sense of normalcy, even though their own data suggests something truly strange is happening.
Right. What about the religious groups? How did they respond?
Some are embracing the chaos. They're seeing it as a sign of prophecy.
Wow.
While others are, trying to provide comfort and guidance in a world that seems to have gone mad. It's a fascinating look at how different belief systems grapple with the unknown.
It really makes you think, even in the face of something truly bewildering, those in power, they just resort to familiar patterns. It's all about controlling the narrative,
right?
Maintaining their authority, even if it means ignoring or suppressing the truth.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It makes you question how much of what we perceive as reality is actually shaped by those in power.
Right.
Even when that reality is crumbling around us.
All right, so we've got these strange phenomena, cryptic messages,
Right.
powerful groups reacting in all sorts of different ways.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Well, let's dive into Datastream 006.
Okay.
It's this partially recovered document called the Redacted Report.
The redacted report.
Yeah, it's fragmented, corrupted.
Okay.
But the details we can piece together, they're disturbing, to say the least.
Okay, give me the highlights. What's in there?
They talk about contact zones, where reality seems to bend.
Contact zones.
Yeah, biological abnormalities, these monoliths that just appear overnight.
Monoliths, like like big giant structures.
Warping time and space around them.
Okay.
They even mention, and this is where it gets really creepy,
Yeah.
this terrifying voice between worlds that seems to be influencing everything.
A voice between worlds? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take in. And it all sounds so intentionally obscured, like somebody didn't want this information getting out. It's possible. But even just the fragments, it's like looking into a nightmare. Oily sheen in the sky, twisted spaces, biological mutations. I mean, the descriptions they're vivid and disturbing. And then you have these cryptic messages within the report. Things like errors or relics and feet on stars.
It's like trying to understand a language from a dream.
Yeah.
What about this voice between worlds? What can we learn about that from the report?
It's described as a force that permeates everything.
Mm-hmm.
A presence that can be felt but not seen. It disrupts communication, bends reality, and whispers truths that just shatter our understanding of the world. And there's one line that really stands out.
Okay.
It says, "The voice between worlds rises. You cannot unhear it."
That's chilling.
Yeah.
So this report, it hints at this reality-bending event, these strange entities and all these cryptic messages. What about the last two data streams, Datastream 008 and Datastream 009? Those are where things get really, really interesting and perhaps a bit unsettling, even for someone like me.
Datastream 008. It's fascinating because, we couldn't decrypt it.
Right.
But the structure of the data itself.
Okay.
It's telling. It's chaotic, densely packed, these symbols that seem to defy any conventional interpretation.
So it's not just that we don't have the right tools to decode it.
It's more than that. If we think about those other data streams, the ones we could at least partially decipher, they paint this picture of an event or a force that just disrupts order.
Okay.
On a fundamental level.
Yeah.
It breaks down systems of understanding. Maybe this final transmission.
Okay.
In its very unintelligibility.
Yeah.
Is a reflection of that force at work.
So the information itself is inherently disruptive.
Right.
What are the implications of that?
It suggests that this unraveling, it's not just about physical changes to our world.
Right.
It's about the breakdown of the structures of knowledge.
And meaning that we rely on.
That's a chilling thought. What about Datastream 009? What makes that one so unsettling?
Datastream 009. Well, it's labeled encrypted message, do not open.
Okay.
Followed by a series of those same strange symbols we saw in Datastream 001.
Oh, right.
The ones that kept looping.
Yeah.
And then there's this warning
from
something called the Nether Protocol.
The Nether Protocol. That's a new element.
Yeah.
What do we know about it?
It's only mentioned in this final data stream.
Okay.
Seems to be some kind of advanced AI.
Okay.
Or maybe a monitoring system.
Okay.
Built to, observe, interact with this anomaly. And its warnings are quite disturbing. One message says, "There is no surface to touch. The vessel is hollow. The hollow is sound. The sound shapes the silence."
Okay, now my head is spinning. That sounds like a description of a reality that's completely different from our own.
Exactly. And then there's the final message from this Nether Protocol. You are not listening. It has already arrived.
So the unraveling,
Yeah.
It's not something that will happen
Yeah.
in the future. It's already happening.
It's happening now.
Okay, but if that's true, why aren't we seeing more evidence of it? Why is all this information hidden away in these data streams?
That's the question, isn't it? What else is hidden in those encrypted files? What other truths are being kept from us? Maybe for our own protection, maybe for something more sinister.
Okay, let's step back for a second and try to piece together what we've learned.
Sure.
We have this reality-bending event originating from our future. Strange symbols and patterns.
Yeah.
Conflicting human responses.
Right.
This enigmatic voice between worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And now this Nether Protocol.
Yeah.
all hinting at this reality that seems both alien and terrifyingly close.
It's a story that challenges our assumptions about time and space, perception, the very nature of existence.
Mm-hmm.
It asks us to consider the possibility that what we perceive as real is only a small part of a much larger and much stranger truth.
Yeah, and it leaves you with this sense of unease. Like a feeling that something really profound is happening, something that maybe we're not fully equipped to understand, let alone control.
You're right. It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I want to go back to those symbols that keep popping up. They appear in the initial transmission from Dr. Berger in Datastream 002.
Yeah.
Even in that warning message from the Nether Protocol, they feel important.
They are.
Like a code we need to crack.
You're onto something.
Okay.
They're not just random noise.
Right.
And if you look closely, there's a structure there, a progression, almost like a language evolving.
So are these symbols like a Rosetta Stone for the unraveling?
Perhaps. But they're also more than that. Remember those descriptions from the redacted report?
Yeah, the twisted spaces, the impossible geometry.
Right, the warping of time and perception.
Yeah.
It's as if those symbols, they're not just representing the unraveling.
Okay.
They're somehow enacting it.
Wait, so you're saying these symbols aren't just a language, they're a blueprint?
Yeah.
For a new kind of reality. How is that even possible?
That's a question we'll need to explore further.
Okay.
But if we can decipher that blueprint, if we can understand the language of the unraveling, we might be able to glimpse what's on the other side.
Right.
What might be taking its place.
Okay, that's a lot to process. We can't just analyze these symbols as part of some code. We need to consider them as forces in themselves, reshaping like the reality we inhabit.
Exactly. And that's where things get truly interesting.
Okay.
Because if we start to think of these symbols as forces, then the unraveling itself becomes less about destruction.
Right.
And more about transformation.
Okay.
A fundamental shift in the way we perceive and interact with the universe.
So instead of the end of everything, maybe we should consider it a beginning. Yeah. A beginning of something new, something beyond our current comprehension.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
And that's a thought that's both exhilarating and terrifying, wouldn't you say?
It definitely is. But there's one piece of this puzzle that we need to address, the voice between worlds.
Yeah.
It seems to be a key player in all of this. What can we learn about this entity? What role does it seem to play?
The voice between worlds is the most enigmatic element we've encountered. It's described as a force that permeates everything, a presence that can be felt but not seen. It disrupts communication, bends reality, and whispers truths that shatter our understanding of the world.
And it seems to be directly connected to those symbols we were just talking about. Remember that line from the redacted report? The voice between worlds rises. You cannot unhear it.
Right.
It's as if the symbols are a conduit, a way for this entity to communicate with our world, to shape it according to its own unknowable purpose.
And the fact that it can, transmit these messages in every language across every frequency suggests a level of power and sophistication beyond anything we've ever encountered.
Okay.
It's not bound by the limitations of our physical world, our technology, or even our perception.
So is this voice benevolent or malevolent?
Yeah.
Is it a force of creation or destruction, or is it something else entirely, something beyond our human categories of good and evil?
That's the fundamental question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And these data streams, they don't give us a clear answer.
Right.
But they do offer some intriguing clues. This voice, it seems to be connected to the unraveling, yes. Yeah. But it's also described as a source of knowledge, a revealer of hidden truths.
Right.
Remember those lines from the redacted report. What you see as a barrier is merely an invitation. And you were never alone. You were simply not looking in the right direction.
Yeah.
These messages suggest, the voice, it's not necessarily an enemy, but perhaps a guide, a challenger, or even a midwife to a new kind of existence.
Okay, that's a lot to take in. We've gone from impending doom to to potential transcendence.
It is a radical shift in perspective.
Yeah.
But these data streams, for all their cryptic warnings and unsettling implications,
Right.
they also offer this glimmer of hope.
Okay.
They suggest the unraveling. It's not the end.
Right.
It's a transition, a transformation.
Okay.
And what we make of that transformation is ultimately up to us.
So instead of fearing the unknown, maybe we should embrace it.
Exactly.
See the unraveling not as a catastrophe, but as an opportunity for growth, for evolution, for a profound shift in consciousness.
Precisely. And that, I think, is the most important message we can take away from all of this.
Okay.
The unraveling is happening.
Right.
We can't stop it, but we can. We can choose how we respond.
Okay.
We can choose fear and denial, or we can choose curiosity and openness.
Right.
We can choose to cling to the familiar, or we can choose to embrace the unknown.
Yeah.
The choice, as always, is ours.
You've given me a lot to think about.
Good.
But before we wrap up, I want to touch on those final transmissions.
Okay.
From Datastream 008 and Datastream 009.
Right.
They're so strange, so abstract. Do you think there's any chance of ever deciphering them? Of understanding what they're trying to tell us?
It's hard to say. The structure of those transmissions, it's so different from anything we've ever encountered. It's as if they're operating on a different level of reality.
Right.
Different set of rules.
But maybe that's the point. Maybe they're not meant to be deciphered in the traditional sense. Maybe they're meant to be experienced, to be felt, to trigger something within us that goes beyond rational understanding.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Perhaps those final transmissions, they're not messages in the conventional sense.
Right.
But rather keys.
Keys.
Yeah, keys that unlock hidden potentials within us.
Okay.
That expand our perception, that allow us to glimpse the reality that's emerging on the other side of the unraveling.
Okay, now we're getting into some seriously mind-bending territory. But I like it. It's a hopeful way to think about what could otherwise be a very bleak situation.
And hope, I think, is what we need most in times of uncertainty and change.
Yeah.
Hope allows us to see beyond the present moment, to imagine possibilities,
right?
To embrace the unknown with courage and curiosity.
Well said. So where do we go from here? How do we prepare for this unraveling, for this shift in consciousness?
That's a question we'll explore in our final segment. We'll delve deeper into the potential implications of the unraveling and discuss what steps we might take to navigate this uncharted territory.
Okay, so we're back, and honestly, after going through all those data streams, I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
But I'm also a little shaken.
Mm-hmm.
We uncovered all this evidence of this unraveling that's like potentially changing like the fabric of reality itself.
Right.
We've got these strange entities and forces that are they're hard to wrap your head around. It's a lot to process.
It is indeed, and I think it's important to acknowledge the emotional weight of all this information.
Yeah.
We're not just dealing with an intellectual puzzle here.
Right.
This is potentially unsettling,
Yeah.
on an existential level.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's perfectly natural to feel a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Even frightened by what we've uncovered.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It feels like all the rules that we thought we knew, all the boundaries we've built our lives around are suddenly dissolving.
Right.
It's exhilarating
Yeah.
and terrifying at the same time.
That's a great way to put it, and I think that duality, that gets at the heart of the unraveling.
Okay.
It's not just destructive, it's transformative. It's
Right.
breaking down the old structures, the old ways of seeing the world to make way for something new.
Oh. So if the world as we know it is unraveling, I mean, what does that mean for us, for our future? Or what can we do? How do we even begin to navigate this new reality?
Those are the big questions, aren't they? And I don't think there are any easy answers.
Right.
But I do believe that these data streams, they offer some clues.
Okay.
They point toward this shift in consciousness, this need to to expand our perception.
Okay.
To embrace the unknown and to become more attuned to the subtle forces
Right.
that shape our reality.
So it's not about fighting the unraveling, but adapting to it.
Exactly.
Evolving with it.
Yeah, it's about becoming more fluid.
Okay.
More flexible in our thinking, more open to possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
That might seem strange or even impossible
Right.
from our current perspective.
Okay.
Think back to those symbols that keep recurring in the data streams. They're not just a language.
Mm-hmm.
They're a blueprint.
Okay.
For a new kind of reality, one that's more interconnected, more fluid, and more attuned to the flow of energy and information.
Okay, so we need to learn this new language.
Yeah.
Learn to read the symbols and understand the patterns.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we do that? Where do we even begin?
I think the answer lies in those final transmissions.
Okay.
The ones that we couldn't fully decipher.
Right.
They're not conventional messages. They're more like keys.
Keys.
Yeah, triggers.
Okay.
Designed to activate something within us.
Right.
To awaken a new way of seeing and understanding.
So we need to stop trying to decode them with our rational minds and instead try to experience them.
Exactly.
To feel them, to let them resonate with us on a deeper level.
Precisely. It's about shifting our focus from analysis to intuition.
Okay.
From logic to empathy.
Right.
From the head to the heart.
Right.
It's about opening ourselves to the possibility that there's more to reality than we can currently perceive, and that the unraveling, while unsettling, might ultimately be a path to a more expansive, more interconnected way of being.
That's a powerful thought.
Yeah,
and it's certainly a lot more hopeful than I was expecting when we first started this deep dive. So if we learn to adapt, to evolve, to embrace the unknown, what might this new reality look like?
Right.
What possibilities could emerge from the unraveling?
We can only speculate, but if those cryptic messages are any indication, it will be a reality. That's less rigid.
Okay.
Less bound by the limitations of our current perception. Imagine a world where communication happens not through words, but through subtle energy shifts.
Yeah.
A world where the boundaries between self and other dissolve, where time and space become fluid and malleable.
Wow.
From our current perspective, it seems strange, even chaotic.
Yeah.
But it's also a world, brimming with potential. A world where the possibilities for connection, for creativity, for evolution, they're limitless.
That's an incredible vision. It's both daunting and inspiring. It reminds us that even in the face of profound change, even when the world as we know it is unraveling, there's always hope. There's always the possibility for something new and wonderful to emerge.
And that, I think, is the essential message of this deep dive.
Right.
The unraveling is not the end. It's a beginning.
Right.
It's a chance to let go of old ways of seeing, old ways of being, and to embrace the unknown with courage, curiosity, and a sense of wonder.
Wow.
What this new reality will look like, what possibilities it will hold. All of that is still unfolding.
Right.
But one thing's for certain.
Okay.
It's a journey we'll be taking together.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
We've reached the end of our deep dive, but really this is just the beginning of the conversation.
Exactly.
We've only scratched the surface of what these data streams have to offer. There's so much more to explore, to ponder, to integrate into our understanding of the world.
Absolutely.
So keep digging, keep questioning, keep listening to those whispers at the edge of your perception.
Right.
The unraveling is happening.
Yeah.
But it's not something to fear. It's an invitation to evolve, to expand, to become something more than we ever thought possible.
Well said.
Yeah.
And as we navigate this uncharted territory, let's remember the words of that final transmission.
Yeah.
You are not listening. It has already arrived.
Right.
The unraveling is not some future event.
Yeah.
It's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
The question isn't whether we'll survive,
Right.
but how we'll choose to participate in this extraordinary transformation.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thank you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep your minds open to the infinite possibilities that lie ahead.